And like arched from top.
Yeah. Just sit down and rest, okay?
But some of the reading, like one of the readings, but they're gonna be here. I'm like really like I'm excited for my tomorrow's going. I would just like
But I'll let you say it.
yeah.
But the big thing is don't go too fast, but please be loud.
Okay. I had a question on the like paragraph on the I've been having trouble with the last two. Okay.
All right, we'll just cancel your buttons. Say that, you know, tell everybody I'm sorry. Okay. Let me get things going. You stay here.
Okay.
Yes. Longer.
All right, so a little prelude for a minute.
Ready?
Boker Tov, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, you can do better than that. I like that. Thank you. It's a beautiful morning. It rained just enough so that the grass is a little wet early this morning. And we're here to celebrate Shabbat and this incredible opportunity to welcome the future onto the Bima. And so, by the way, there's no pressure in that, you realize. Okay. So this morning we're going to be reading from Mishkan Tefillah. It's the blue book that you find in front of you or underneath you if you're in a front row.
And there are more all over the sanctuary if your row doesn't
If you
have
run
it.
out, there's lots of extras. Most of you know Hebrew's read right to left, so that's the direction the book travels. Cantor will help you in just a moment figure out how to fully participate in the service as we move forward. But what I can tell you is that our worship experience is only full if it's led both from out there and up here. This is not Kara's performance. This is her attempt, first attempt, which will be eminently successful, to be rabbi. Okay? Again, no pressure. And halfway through the service, if you see Cantor and I leave, it means she's doing a great job and we don't need to be here. Okay?
I'm going to get the pancakes today.
Okay.
All right.
So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to ask Jima to come up and give you your talit. Okay?
Where'd that go? Right here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking. Golly, you're so beautiful. We're so proud. You've done such a wonderful job, and are going to. This talit belonged to my grandfather, who came with his family from Germany when he was a teenager. It went from him to my father, and then skipped a generation. When it was time for me to go to religious school, my father said, a bat mitzvah is a made-up event. So I'm so glad we decided to make it up, which is the joy of Reform Judaism to begin with, that if you need something, you make it up. From my father, it went to my brother Lee, who was bar mitzvahed in New York. And then it went to Evan, who was bar mitzvahed right here. And now it's yours. It goes to you. And next, it will go to Cooper. So all the generations of Ostrikers and Lowensteins and Sabos are here for you and here with you. And
You gotta say the blessing.
oh, sorry.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kisha mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hitatef b'asitzu.
Amen. Now,
Amen.
and now you have to do the ceremonial hair flip.
I can't.
You did
You
it.
just
You
did.
just
Well, yeah, I
did.
did. Well, not the like this. Yeah, that.
Give a
Or mazel tov. You need your rings.
perfect job.
Thank you. Thank you, Cantor.
Thank you. Thank you for getting the crying done early.
We'll get the crying.
I'm not done yet either.
Yeah, I say we're not getting the crying out of the way that easy.
No, we're just getting started. So remember to silence your electronic devices, and
Say Shabbat Shalom to them all.
everything's being recorded and photographed for the family, so you don't need to do it. Our worship service starts on page 290, and our opening prayer is Ma Tovu. And if you don't remember from Evan's bar mitzvah, just in case, I haven't changed anything, okay? Except Evan and Kara different, of course. But our opening prayer starts like this. Say after me. Ma tovu,
Tovu,
ohalecha,
ochalecha,
Yaakov,
Yaakov,
mishkenotecha,
Mishkenotecha,
Yisrael.
Israel.
Which means how fair are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Israel. And let's remind ourselves how it goes. What's our opening note, please, Pam? Here's how it goes. Ma tovu, ohalecha, Yaakov. Everyone try that. Ma tovu, ohalecha, Yaakov. Ohalecha repeats. Ohalecha, Yaakov. Then, Mishkenotecha, Yisrael. Mishkenotecha. Mishkenotecha, Yisrael. And that's the whole chorus. And as Rabbi said over and over, I'll be orienting you to the chorus so you can participate in our Shabbat worship. Now we sing together. Ma Tov. Here's your part. Ma Tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Again. Ma Tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Va'ani berov chasdecha avo v'itecha eshtachaveh el hichal kodshecha v'yiratecha. All together. Ma tovu
Should I say Na'ayim now?
ohalecha together. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Bani tefilati lecha, Adonai et ratzon. Elohim berov chasecha, Eineni bemet yishecha. All together. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael.
May I please now welcome my aunt and uncle to read a passage on page 124.
Which aunt and uncle?
Uncle Jesse and Aunt Jesse and Uncle Kevin.
That works.
Sorry.
Why don't you turn the page?
That's 120.
No, 126. Oh, 126 then.
Yep.
Okay.
I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love.
As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work and to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illuminate all of us and to bring the vision to life.
Okay. Please turn to page 291. Give it a second. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware, we would lack the strength to sustain life before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei kol basar, umachli la'asot. Please turn the page.
On page 292, we sing this prayer. We'll say the Hebrew together. Elohai, Neshama,
Neshama,
Shenatata
Shenatatabi,
Tehorahi,
Tehorahi.
which means the soul you have given me, O God, is pure. So we all start out pretty clean. And we always want to get back to that clean place. So here's how it goes. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama. Everyone try that. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama. Shenatatabi. Shenatata. Shenatatabi. Tehorahi. Tehora. Tehorahi. That's the whole prayer. Elohai,
neshama shenatari tehorahi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'sechvi vina, l'chavin ben yom uven laila.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokeach uvumim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, roka haaretz al hamayim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamichir mitzadei gaver.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten laya'ef koach.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamichir sheina me'enai, utznuma me'afa pai.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shesani b'tselem Elohim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shesani bat chorim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shesani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael b'gvura.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'tifara.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher gishal mitzvotav, v'tivanu laso b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
Please turn to page 301. Baruch she'emar v'yah ha'olam, Baruchu, Baruch oseh v'reshit, Baruch omer ve'oseh, Baruch gozer u'makayim, Baruch merchim al haaretz, Baruch merchim al habriot, Baruch mishalem sakatu lire'av, Baruch chai la'ad v'kayam lanetzach, Baruch podel u'matzil, Baruch Shemo. Blessed is the one who spoke and the world came to be. Blessed is the one. Blessed is the one who continually authors creation. Blessed is the one whose word is deed. Blessed is the one who decrees and fulfills. Blessed is the one who is compassionate towards the world. Blessed is the one who is compassionate towards all creatures. Blessed is the one who rewards the reverent. Blessed is the one who exists for all time, ever enduring. Blessed is the one who redeems and saves. Blessed is God's name. With songs of praise, we exalt you and proclaim your sovereignty, for you are the source of life in the universe. One God, life of the universe, praised and glorious ruler. Your name is eternal. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign who is glorified through praise. Baruch atah Adonai, melech mulal b'shishbarot. Please turn to page 312. Please rise.
Yitkadal, yitkadal, shemei Rabbi, v'yalmad yivrach yirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chai chori v'mechon chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, v'hagahalav yismakarim, v'yimeru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbi mevorach, le'olam u'demi al-maya, yitvarach. Yiparach v'ishtabach v'yipar v'yomah v'yitnaseh, yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, shemei l'kudeshah, le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tishmechata v'nechemata, na'mira mi'alema, v'yimeru, amen.
Baruch et Adonai hamvorach, Baruch Adonai hamivorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvarei choshe, oseh shalom uvarei hakol. Hami'er la'aretz, v'la'azarim alecha b'rachamim, u'tva mekadesh b'chol yom tamid, ma'aseh v'reishit, ma'rubuma masacha Adonai, kulam b'chachma, asita malal haaretz kininecha. Tidbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shavach ma'yaseh yadecha, v'al me'or or, she'asita v'cha'rucha sela, or chadash al Sion te'ir, v'tkechu lanu v'hera la'oro, Baruch atah Adonai yotzer chamarot. Please flip the page. Please read along with me. The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give this morning. My Torah, my special human gift, is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer chamarot. Please turn to page 317. O God, inspiration and guide for all, you have spoken in 1,000 tongues for us to hear. In every land, in every age, your children have heard you and imagined you in separate ways. And yet, O God, you are the one, unifier of humanity.
We give thanks
To the sages and teachers who bring us understanding of your will. Gratefully, we recall the lawgivers and the prophets, the psalmists and sages of Israel. And joyfully, we remember that from dawn of Israel's life, we would turn to you and find purpose. May the teachings of our ancestors live on in our minds, and their passion for righteousness stir in our hearts. Help us live so that our daily conduct reveals the beauty and wisdom of your truth. Baruch atah Adonai, abocher be'emet v'siyel v'yemava. Please turn the page. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu havarim ha'eleh asher nochi b'tevecha hayot al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'bertam bam b'shiftecha u'reitecha ufleftecha v'derech u'shofbecha uvkumecha ukshartam le'ot al yadecha v'ayuletot tafot b'neinecha uvtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha Laman tiskeru maseitem et kol mitzvotai v'kem kedoshim aleichem Ani Adonai Aleichem Asher Otzeititem Meretz Mitzrayim L'hot Lechem Elachim Ani Adonai Aleichem. Please turn to page 321. Please read along with me. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect. Song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished. Gift of his children, the generations to come. Song of a land once ravished by war, more quiet and content. Her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of widowed demons.
Mi hamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi hamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot ha'osefeh, shir ha'chadasha shibehu gehudim, Shebo Kedosh Yisrael. Baruch Ata Adonai. Ga'al Yisrael.
So the piece that Cantor just sang comes from the Torah, the Song of the Sea, is where the waters part and we walk into freedom. And it's a great story from the ancient world. But the question is, how do we make those words real today? And for that, we're going to go back to page 124.
And now may I please ask to welcome me, my aunt and uncle, Shannon and Anthony.
May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we're going to continue. We're going to be at page 323. This is the moment we get rid of, well, we don't get rid of, we pass ourselves from the praising, because that's really easy to do. It's really easy to say, wow, that's cool. But sometimes it's a lot more challenging to then do something to make it even better, or at least to celebrate our role in what's happening. And so the first part of the service is praising. The second part of the Jewish service is an asking, literally the word prayer. And so we're going to start by reminding ourselves that we stand in the shoes of people who have come before us, and we have an obligation to pass that legacy on to those who will come after us, growing it in its vibrancy and its importance. And so with that, I'm going to ask you to rise on page 323.
Adonai sefatai tiftak u'v'yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, Elyon, Omer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zoher Chasdevot v'Imahot, V'vigula Divnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Chozer Moshe Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Bezrat Sarah, Atah Yibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayet Kol Atah, Rav Nehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somich Noflim V'Elfei Hodim, L'matir Asurim, U'Mekayim Echnato, L'Shedei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Kiburot, U'Midam Melech, Melech Chimit U'Mechayim, U'Mashliach Yeshua, V'Ne'eman Atan HaChayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol.
We're in the middle of page 326 with our prayer of holiness. We say the word holy 3 times in this prayer. So important is that concept. And some rise up 3 times as if closer on that word.
Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, keshem shemakdishim ot אותו בשמי מרום, רק כתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו באדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, רחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיגן לך, ולנצח נצחית כלל נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. And please turn to page 328 and join me on the bottom. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a commandment for all time. It is a sign for all between me and the people of Israel. For the 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day God ceased from work and was refreshed.
We continue with our song of rejoicing on the top of 329, Yismachu. And in addition to singing along, if you want, please clap along with the tambourine.
Yai Brahmamai, Shabbat, Shabbat. Yai Brahmamai, Shabbat, Shabbat. Yai Brahmamai, Shabbat, Shabbat. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat. Yismechu, Yismechu, v'malachutcha. Yismechu, Yismechu, v'malachutcha. Shomrei Shabbat, Shomrei Shabbat. V'korei yonei gonei Shabbat. Shomrei Shabbat, Shomrei Shabbat, v'korei yonei gonei Shabbat. Amikadoshi shivi Shabbat, Shabbat. Amikadoshi shivi Shabbat, Shabbat. Kulam yisbehu v'yitagu mituvecha. Shabbat, Shabbat. Yai Brahmamai, Shabbat, Shabbat. Yai Brahmamai, Shabbat, Shabbat. Yai Brahmamai, Shabbat, Shabbat. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat. Yismechu, Yismechu, v'malachutcha. Yismechu, Yismechu, v'malachutcha. Shomrei Shabbat, Shomrei Shabbat. V'korei yonei gonei Shabbat. Shomrei Shabbat, Shomrei Shabbat. V'korei yonei gonei Shabbat. V'hashvi ratzita bo Shabbat, Shabbat. Ratzita bo v'kiddushto Shabbat, Shabbat. Chedat yavim oto karata. Zecher lema'aseh bereshit. Shabbat. Yai Brahmamai, Shabbat, Shabbat. Yai Brahmamai, Shabbat, Shabbat. Yai Brahmamai, Shabbat, Shabbat. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat.
So do you want to, or do you want me to? Call your parents?
Can my parents please join me on the bima?
We're on page 322, 323, 332, 333. At the end of each of these paragraphs are the words in Hebrew, modim anachnu lach, which literally translates, we give thanks to you. So for each of the paragraph blessings, Our job is to affirm with those words. And Kara, you're in charge of that. Or you can join.
So start here. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations.
Modim anachnu lach.
For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons.
Modim anachnu lach.
For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements.
Modim anachnu lach.
For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression.
Modim anachnu lach.
For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared.
Modim anachnu lach.
For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom.
Modim anachnu lach.
For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose.
Modim anachnu lach.
We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Elohim.
shimcha, ruchah na'eh lehodot. So hug them. We're going to continue on the following page with our prayers for peace.
Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, borcheinu yotzreinu kulanu kechad, ve'or panecha, ivor panecha natata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, Torat chayim, ve'achavat chesed, ve'ahavat chesed, u'tzedaka uvracha ve'rachamim, ve'chayim ve'shalom. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, ve'tov b'einecha, levarech t'cha Yisrael, b'chol עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל ישראל עמך.
So before we take a private moment, we're going to be on page 336 at the bottom.
I need strength, humility, courage, patience. Strength to control my passions, humility to assess my own worth, courage to rise above defeats, patience to cleanse myself of imperfections, and wisdom to learn and live by our sacred teachings. Let me not be discouraged by my failings. Let me take heart from all that is good and noble in my character. Keep me from falling victim to cynicism. Teach me seniority and enthusiasm. Endow me with perception and courage. And may I serve others with compassion and love.
And on that note, take a few moments privately so that we can figure out how to make those words come true.
please welcome my cousins Norley and Riley to help open the ark with me.
And at that point, I'm going to ask everyone to stand, and I also need your parents up here.
Oh.
Just saying. You guys probably want to get closer to each other.
Okay.
I mean,
She's reading the speech.
that's fine.
Oh, me. Okay. I thought you were talking then. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to try and get through this. This whole experience has been surreal. It's hard to believe how fast this past year has gone. Preparing for this day was no easy task. You did it 99% virtually, and this past 2 months while playing for 2 soccer teams and navigating a new school, learning in person for the first time in well over a year. It has been a pleasure watching you take this responsibility so seriously and listening to you practice, once we were allowed to. The word proud doesn't seem like a big enough word to describe how we feel about the person you've grown to be. We know you prefer to experience things for yourself, but please take this advice from us. Today, as well as life, will go by very, very quickly. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and live in the moment. Embrace today and every day for what it is, not what you wish and hope it to be. Find happiness in truly live in each moment. Continue being the strong, capable, huge-hearted, kind young lady you've grown into, the version of you that you like best. We love you.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Lecha Adonai Ha'eluna, Ha'gevura, Ha'tiveret, V'Ha'netzach V'Ha'avod, Kihol V'Shamayim U'Va'aretz, Kihol V'Shamayim U'Va'aretz, Lecha Adonai Ha'malacha,
Please be seated.
Lechol Rosh.
For our first aliyah, we call up Wendy, Corey, Cole, and Julian.
Carrie.
Carrie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
Thanks, Cara.
No, I'm saying it's no one's fault.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. All right, can everyone see it? God forbid you make a mistake. Here we go. Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3. Baruch
Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'torah.
Amen.
We're going to open this up. Okay, all right, good.
Vayera elav Adonai belonei mamre vehu yoshev petach ohel kahom hayom ba'isa einav vayar v'esosha anashim nitzivim alav vayomer vayaratz likreta mipetach ohel v'shadu arza v'yomer Adonai imna matzati hein beinecha al na ta'avor me'al avdecha.
Okay, you guys. We'll do the blessing after. Yeah. Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata b'toheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'torah.
Amen.
For second aliyah, we call Jarrett, Mike, Alexis, and Jack. Hallelujah. Welcome.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
There we go.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
You find it. Yigachna ma'atmayim, rahatzu ragahem, v'shadu tachat ha'ed, v'kafat lichem, v'shadu libchem, achar ta'avaru, ki al ken avatem al vatchem, v'ayomru, ken ta'aseh ka'asher dibarta.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan v'tukenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
For our third aliyah, we call up Brett, Jim, and Evan.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Vaymeher Abraham, Hauhela al Sarah, Vayomer Machari, Shalosh im Kemach Solet, Lushi Vase Ugot, Ve'el Harkar, Rat Avraham, Vayikach Ben Bakar, Rat Vito Vitain, El Hanar, Vaymeher Lasot Oto, Vayikachema V'chalav, Uvin Harkar, Asher Asa, Vayitain Lifnehem, V'hu Omer Alehem, Tachat Ha'ed Vayachilu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Acknowledge her, please. Good job.
Okay,
It's funny that that was the one he was supposed to do, but it was his Aliyah.
I know. Okay, for our fourth Aliyah, we call up Shelley and Peter.
My grandparents.
Welcome back.
Scarlett!
All right, over on this side. All right, go ahead. Baruch
Adonai Hamarach,
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'charbanu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu es Toraso. Baruch atah Adonai, nosein haTorah.
Amen.
Find it. Found it. Found it right away.
Okay.
Vayamru elav aye savra ischacha vayamer hine va'ohel vayomer shuv ashuv elecha kiraya v'hine vein l'sara ischacha v'sara sha'amai petach ohel v'lacharav v'abraham v'sara zakenim ba'im bayamim hadal li'ot l'sara orach kanashim.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'yahyon lota b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, nosein haTorah.
Amen.
Beautiful.
Good job. Okay.
Congratulations.
And now we call up Larry and Lori.
My other grandparents.
Over on this side?
It won't be chanted.
You won't be what?
Chanted.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. I don't need you to steal my job.
Baruch atah Adonai, Hamavarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch
Baruch le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai.
Hamavarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'charbanu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vatitzchak Sarah b'kirba le'mor, acharei v'loti, haytali edna, v'arni zakein, v'yamer Adonai Abraham, lama zeh, zachaka Sarah le'mor, ha'af umna, alid v'ani zakanti, haypele me'anai davar, lama ed, ashuve lecha, ki haya v'sara vein.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah hamed, v'yakam natan. Sorry. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
You're amazing.
And now we call up your parents, Jay and Jamie.
Yay. Just saw them too. What a
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
help myself. Great job. I'm sorry.
Right? Right there. There we go.
Vatchahe Sarah lemor lo sachakti ki yarea vamerlo ki sachakt yukumu misham hashim vayishkifu al panei Sodom ve'avracham halach imam l'shalcham v'ani emor hamchaser ani ma'avracham asher ani oseh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Beautiful job. You guys are going to stay up here. Oh, okay. And now we call you, Kara, as a bat mitzvah to the Torah. Tamod, Tamod, Tamod habat mitzvah. Ariela bat Emmanuel v'Yaakov. Habat mitzvah chazaka. Take your tali.
Baruch et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yeah.
Right here. Ve'avracham hayu yeh lugoy gadot vatzum v'niv huvo kol goyei haaretz kirativ laman asher yitzaveh et banach lebeito acharav v'shamru derech Adonai la'asot tzedakah mishpat laman havi Adonai avracham et asher diber alav V'Adonai zakat sdom v'amara ki rabba v'chatatam ki chavda me'od.
Take your talit again. Touch it there.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
You want to ask them to rise? You want them to?
Please rise.
I think we have a future Torah chanter.
Or a rabbi. Bezot hator, bezot. What is my note? Hatorah asher samoshe lifnei bnei Yisrael api Adonai birat Moshe. Bezot hatorah asher samoshe lifnei bnei Yisrael api Adonai birat Moshe. Lai 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 lai.
We are having a great time this morning. And we get to celebrate every day of life. There are people who are not able to celebrate every day, people who are injured, who are ill, people who suffer from nature and from our inhumanity. And so we say a Mishaberach prayer for healing, knowing that as we take people into our hearts, we have to then go do the work of healing the world. So the song is beautiful, the prayer is nice, but if we sing the words and then we sit back and do nothing to change people's lives, then it's what we call a bracha levatala, a prayer without value. So having said the prayer, we're obligated to go out, reach out to people who are in need, people who are ill, or people we know that just need a friendly voice, need a card, need a call, to bring some sense of shleimut, of healing into their world. Specifically, we're thinking about members of our community and our families, Rabbi Robert Orach, James Appio, Vicki Bernstein, Michael Marks, Scott Kline, Helene Rothman, Bobby Goldstein, Lois Wilkes. And if there are other people that you're holding in prayer, please share their names and we can join in that effort.
Deborah Monahan.
Baruch atah Adonai rofei hacholim. God, please make us instruments of healing.
Amen. Our prayer for healing can be found on page 371 in your blue prayer book. We join together.
Please be seated. In this week's Torah portion, Sarah receives a divine promise that she will have a son. She does not believe it, for both she and her husband are elderly. Yet, God holds true to the promise. Sarah does have a child. Similarly, in the Haftarah, a barren woman with an elderly husband is promised by the prophet of Elisha that she will have a son. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar min v'im tovim v'ratza v'yivreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'Moshe abdo v'Yisrael amo b'nvi'ei ha'emet v'sedek. Va'isha ahat min shei v'nein hanvi'im saka el Elisha lemor Abdacha ishi meit ladata yadata ki abdacha haya yare et Adonai v'hanasha ba v'kachat et shnei ladai lo avodim vayomer elecha Elisha ma eselach hagidi li Ma yesh lach b'bayit v'tomer ein l'shifcha ko b'bayit ki im asuch shamen vayomer l'chi sh'al yilach kelim min chahutz me'et kol shekenayich kelim rikim al tamiti Uvat v'shagar hatelet v'ydeich udvad b'naich v'yatzakt al ka'kelim ha'ele hamolei tasi ותלך איתו, ותדקור הדלת בדק ובד ביניך העם, וגישה אליך היא מוצקת. ויהי כמרות הכלים, ותאמר אל בנו הגישה אין לי עוד כלי, ואמר אליך אין עוד כלי, ושמר השמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, סור כל עמים, צדיק בכל דורות, האל הנאמן, האומר ועושה, המדבר ומקיים, שכל דבריו אמת וצדק. על תורה והעבודה והנביאים, על יום התמיד שנתת ועל יום השבת הזה שנתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לקדושה ולמנוחה, לכבוד ולתפארת. הכל, אדוני אלוהינו, אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך, יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen.
So do you feel the need to breathe?
Sure.
Okay, take a deep breath. It's all good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we're going to put the Torah away.
Okay.
But we need to ask them to do something first.
Nora and Riley, can you please join?
They're already opened the ark. We need everyone to rise.
Oh, please rise.
He's hard to understand. I know. We're turning the Torah to the ark. It's
Yes.
You ready to teach?
Sure.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. I appreciate you all for coming out today. I admire this week's Torah portion. Abraham is a major character. Even while being one of the most important characters, he does not always act in the best character. In the beginning of the story, God visits Abraham and relieves that he and Sarah will have a baby. They were 89 and 99 years old. Like, that's not normal. So, Abraham and Sarah had a kid, and they named him Isaac. God was testing Abraham. As Isaac grows, God promises that he will be the father of a great nation and have children and grandchildren in huge numbers. Abraham was a great person, but in this week's Torah portion, he fell short. Rabbi asked me a question. What does it mean when a great person falls short? It took me a while to understand this question. My first thoughts were of celebrities. Some of them are role models, great people in many ways, but sometimes they fall short. This is a story of a time when Abraham's character fell short. God called to Abraham and told him to take his son Isaac on a journey to a mountain 3 days, camel ride away, and then kill him as a sacrifice unto God. Early one morning, when no one else was awake, Abraham got up, woke 2 servants and Isaac, and they snuck out of camp. No one told Sarah. You heard me. God instructed Abraham to take the child who God promised would grow up to be the father of a great nation and kill him. And Abraham blindly embarked on the journey to do so, and no one told Sarah. God was testing Abraham. Did Abraham forget God's promise? Was Abraham too afraid to ask God about the promise? Why didn't he tell Sarah? I think God wanted Abraham to say no. Rabbi tells me that it takes faith to stand up for what you believe in, even when you are alone. Maybe Abraham thought he was pleasing God by blindly obeying. Sometimes, even when you don't like something, you know it's the right thing to do. Maybe it would have pleased God more if Abraham had just said no, reminding God of God's promise. In going along, Abraham showed no respect for his wife or his son. Ultimately, he failed to show respect for God, either since he treated God as though God were mean-spirited and frightening. He also did not stand up for others. He did not protect the ones he loved, and he didn't even think about it, what was right. Abraham just blindly did what God told him to. Sometimes we have to stand up and act. Sometimes people tell us to do things that we should not do. Sometimes we need to get over ourselves and act in ways we know are better than what we may want to do. Abraham may have thought he was pleasing God, and he should have known better. He had to think about everyone else involved. I learned this lesson this summer. I wanted to play soccer and swim. I knew I had to do a mitzvah project for my bat mitzvah. My mom works at the Humdel Youth Activities Association, also called as HYAA. As we looked for something I could do, she had a great idea. Children with special needs and attention want to participate in sports activities. They can't do it on their own. They need buddies. So, this past summer, I worked with a sweet kid named William. He had some special needs and needed a buddy to be able to participate in stuff like sports. His parents reached out to the HYAA Association, saying that he works better with a buddy. I got to be that buddy. I enjoy working with kids. I have a brother who needs extra help, and I love working with him also. I was not sure about giving up my summer for this project, though. Well, I did, and I loved it. I was so excited to help him. I teamed with him for a basketball camp, a golf camp, and a soccer camp. He got to enjoy all of them because I loved working with him. That made me feel really happy inside, because I helped him have a great summer and a good time, which helped me have a great summer also. Honestly, I struggled sometimes at the beginning, but I got through it. All of these experiences have helped teach me to pay more attention in what's really important. It made me think to the beginning of August when I was struggling with my Hebrew studies. I was only studying what Cantor was teaching and forcing me to learn. Sorry, Cantor.
I think I knew that.
But I found myself on the receiving end of people who looked past their own comfort and loved me enough to push and support me to learn and grow, to do my best, not just enough. I couldn't have done any of this without my parents. They are my role models, and they are always there for me, and they have made me become the kind, loving person that I am. Where do I start with Cooper? He made me a big sister, and I know, Cooper, that you look up to me, but have I ever told you I looked up to you? I'm so grateful to have you in my life. I also want to thank my grandparents, Jima, Ba, and Gammy, and Poppy, for loving me no matter what and always encouraging me to do my best. I love you guys. Thanks to the rest of my family for loving me and supporting me no matter what. To my friends, thanks for always being there for me when I was down and always supporting me and sticking by my side no matter what. I want to thank the Rabbi and the Cantor because they have encouraged me to do my best and have faith in me. They have also helped make sure I was not going to embarrass myself here today. Thanks to everyone for coming. It means so much to me. Thank you all. But I also want you guys to learn something from this. I want you to learn to stand up to people. Stand up for who you love and care for. I really hope you embrace this. Thank you all.
So this is going on 8 years together. And I have watched you grow and mature from someone who was very closed and really introverted into this bright, smiling, loving, and lovable person. But you need to fix your tallis before it falls off. Okay? Okay?
Didn't notice that.
The love that you shared, as you just expressed this summer, the way you take care of your brother and let him take care of you, okay? That you are, you're an enforcer and a stopper, quite literally on the soccer field, right?
Yeah.
Your grace, your poise, your sense of humor, your brilliance. I really have appreciated the time that we've been able to spend studying together. And I'm holding you to what you said is
Yeah, I
you
said
will,
I'm going to keep studying.
you're going to
with
keep
you.
studying with me. So
I really enjoyed it.
cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
When you've done this work as long as Cantor and I have done it, and we run across students, and we've been blessed to have a lot of them here, who take ownership of themselves and our tradition and run with it and make it their own. And, you know, this is why we do this. And I know that Cantor's going to say some nice things about you because we rehearsed it earlier. But I know she and I are incredibly proud of you. The young lady that you are, the leader that you're becoming, I think we're in good hands. So if you'll do me the favor of asking them one more time to please rise, because we're going to go to the Ark, and Cantor and I are going to ask God's blessings for you.
Please rise.
Okay? May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine for you. May you know God's grace. You come from great parents who come from great parents who have set a legacy that has taught you to be warm and engaging. And so we ask that God extend that warmth to everybody with whom you come in contact so that they can experience it and grow from it, and so that you can be in part responsible for bringing this world to peace. Amen. Amen. Please be seated.
Carrie, you did a beautiful job, and you are a special part of our congregation. Your whole family is. For 3 generations, many members of your family have had special moments on this bima, moments that are important to the congregation, and I know to your family. And it's pretty exciting to watch a young woman like you grow up. You have a beautiful name in English, Kara. It means beloved, very appropriate. And then recently you picked your Hebrew name, Ariella, which means lioness of God, which is something you chose. And it's so fitting because you are so brave and focused, and you're a leader. And all of those things are just part of why you do such a wonderful job. Now, you studied very hard with me all along. And as we got further into our studies, you definitely did change the way you studied. But you didn't suddenly just start working hard. You worked hard all along. And all of the children who've had to study with us for the last 18 months have had a very challenging thing to learn virtually, which really is quite unnatural, especially foreign language. Very, very difficult. And I commend you on this because you had to work very hard. And I got to know all sorts of rooms in your house, which are, they're very pretty. You have a very nice house, very nice house. And it was experience that none of us will forget, studying in that manner. But ultimately, you wanted to do a good job, and you did a beautiful job. I've really thought a lot about how special you are, and I was so excited when I asked you if you'd read Haftarah next year for the Holy Days, and I asked you if you wanted to think about it, and you said, I don't need to think about it. The answer is yes. So, I mean, you just have such a willing heart. So thank you. And I really can't ask anyone to do that, because it has to be somebody who will do a good job and take it seriously, which you do. So that's very special, and you get that from your family. I've chosen a song for you that's about your studies and your journey and how we always want to be there for you in all ways. And it's based on the Ve'ahavta prayer that you chanted earlier today.
This is our promise from deep in our heart, commitment to learning, to doing our part, try to be righteous, try to be true. This is our promise, we make it to you, that we will teach you most intently, whether in our home or on our way. When you're sleeping so contently, or when you're rising up each day, this is our promise from deep in our heart, commitment to learning, to doing our part, try to be righteous, try to be true. This is our promise, we make it to you. This is our promise, we make it to you.
We are going to be back in Mishkan Tefillah. We're going to be at page 586. And I'm going to ask that we rise, or actually, you're supposed to ask them to rise.
Please rise. Well, technically, you already said it.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekedu l'yotzer b'reshit, shehu noteh shamayim v'yotzer haaretz, moshav yekaro b'shamayim mimahal, u'shchinat uzo b'govhei meromim, u'Eloheinu einon, אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא תהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please turn to page 595. There are stars up above, so far away we can only see their light. Long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest sky, the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember.
We recall The yahrzeits that occur this week: Sandy Brandwin, Samuel George Coppersmith, Eric Davis, John Clifford Devine, William I. Klatsky, Ethel Dove Gilstein, Ruth Teitelbaum Failer, Diane Figus, Irving Greenberg, Ida Hoffman, Henry Hoffman, Cindy Katz, Samuel Kramer, Joan Lansky, Mildred Melnick, Barry Miller, Stephen Schwerk, Sheldon Spitz, and Frank Welton. Are there other annual yahrzeits being observed this week?
Sam Nussbaum.
We are in Shloshim for Lawrence Weinstein and Courtney Cox, and in Shiva for Gerald Francis. Zichronam livracha, may the memories that they leave us always bring us to blessing. Kaddish is on page 598. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba, v'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chai yachon v'yom echon, u'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'galal v'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam l'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'halal shemei l'kudisha b'richu. Le'la min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlomo Rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Please be seated. We want to continue celebrating with you. And along that lines, we want to make sure that you have stuff to continue celebrating. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask from our sisterhood and our men's club, Karen Levinsky and David Levinsky, to come on up. And they have some offerings, some gifts to share with you. Okay? And
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say it is my great honor to represent Sisterhood this morning. First of all, I know your grandparents for many years, and I just know how they are beaming to be able to witness what you did today. Your accomplishments are just fantastic. You did a beautiful, beautiful job. And we want you to have these gifts. This is a Kiddush cup and candle holders. And we want you to know that what you have accomplished today, being a bat mitzvah, this is the beginning of your Jewish womanhood. And we hope that you will use your candlesticks and your Kiddush cup throughout your life. And it's just been a wonderful honor to be here to witness what you have accomplished. So mazel tov.
Thank you.
And mazel tov to your whole family, who I've never met before, but but mazel tov. You did a great job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Not only do I know your family, your grandmother was my boss for many years. The Lowensteins have been very active in this temple. Lori was the chairperson of the Religious Ed Committee, and I served as the temple's principal for a number of years. So Lori called, your grandmother called the shots. And is quietly and dignified and called the shots. Now the rabbi mentioned this is not a performance. But this is the Lowenstein family we're talking about. So everything, in a sense, is performance. Brett sang beautifully. For years and years and years, I used to love hearing her voice. I was at Jay's bar mitzvah, and he did a wonderful job as being a b'nai mitzvah when I watched it. And then we went back to your house, and you had the tent up, and I remember. The memory isn't shot yet. You do remember these things. I want to put one thing in perspective for you, and I'll end. This is not easy. For example, what does the word RN, the letters RN, what word is that? I gave you an easy one. It could be anything, in a sense. Okay. I happen to use rain. I thought the easiest thing for you. And the reason why I said that to you is because you know that the Torah has no vowels. So it's literally a new language for the B'nai Mitzvah to read. And not only that, they have to learn how to sing. And it's called chanting. And the chant requires a certain knowledge. Now, I'm not allowed to chant, by the way, here, because my voice is so terrible. So just so you understand that.
I've never said that.
You don't have to. Your eyes tell me. I've tried to be in the choir a number of times, and they say, don't call us, we'll call you, is what I usually get. So that takes a good bit of time to learn how to do. Then she has to learn the Haftarah, and then she has to learn all the blessings, which she didn't know because we don't teach them in religious school. So a lot goes in to standing up here and not having a performance. A lot goes up. So, and I want to say you did a magnificent job. I followed every word you said. You did beautiful, beautiful job. The men's club would like to give you this book. Now, I was going to open by saying this is your homework. You had to read this and do a book report on it, but you wouldn't appreciate the joke. So
You're not the principal anymore.
I didn't do it. I'm not the principal anymore. But this is meant to be read a few pages here and a few pages there, and over the course of time, you may get to actually read this, and this will give you all the information you didn't get in religious school. We didn't quite understand. Yes, I know, it's a little awe-inspiring book. Well, again, our congratulations. You did a wonderful, wonderful job. It's a pleasure being here and listening to you.
Thank you.
Best of luck for the future. Right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
By the way, I was a soccer referee for many years.
Thank you, guys.
Great job.
First of all, David, we do teach them in school.
Yeah.
Just saying.
We try.
And for the record, if Cantor really didn't want you to sing, like she says to me sometimes in the service, Rabbi, I love when you sing, it gives me job security. So she hasn't told you that yet.
Well, I only said that once, but I really hate to hurt your feelings, Rabbi, and I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
I really am sorry.
So there's a certificate for you as well, so that you can recount this day. And it's, everyone says to you what a good job you've done today. And you've led brilliantly, I mean, really, and that's part of it. But your preparation and the person you are, not preparation for the service, because I told you bat mitzvah happens because you turned 13, whether you did this or not. But you've taken on that role and owned it, and quite literally this year, you have become a whole new entity, and really a charming one, okay? In every sense of the word. And it's so, if you want to know why we have bar bat mitzvah, it's not for the party, it's not for the service, it's because this is a life-changing year for our children. When they're no longer children. Granted, tomorrow you'll still be in middle school.
Yeah.
Okay? But this is really one of our first glimpses of our future adults and how they carry themselves. And Kara, you've done not today, every day. It's great. So with that, Cantor has a song, closing song. I will offer a few final prayers, and then we've got Motzi and Birkat Yain, the blessing of the grape juice to do, and then it's party time.
So
Okay.
this song was chosen by Kara on page 625, and it's called a call and response song. So we sing, you sing. And it's a version of Adon Olam that was developed at the summer camps and has become pervasive in synagogue worship.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Asam, B'chef Sokol.
Then together.
Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nara Adon Olam, V'hu Haya, V'hu Hoveh, V'hu Yiyeh B'tifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasam, B'chef Sokol. Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'hu Echad, V'ein Sheni, L'hamshilo L'hakbira Adon Olam, V'li Reshit, V'li Tachlit, V'lo Ha'oz V'hamizra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasam, B'chef Sokol. Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'hu Eini, V'chai Goli, V'tzorchem li V'yitzara Adon Olam, V'hu Nisi, Umanos li, Minai Kosi B'yom Mikra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasam, B'chef Sokol. Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'ha'ado Afkim Ruchi, V'yet Isha V'ya'ira Adon Olam, V'yimruchi, Yevi'ati, Adonai li V'lo Hira Adon Olam.
Or your last chance.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasam, B'chef Sokol. Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam.
Sure.
May all the kids please come up to the bima. Please.
Now, you get to define whether you're a kid or not.
Yeah, seriously. Evan. Yeah, you are.
You had to
Evan,
bring
how
Cooper
about
up.
bringing Cooper?
Cooper, come here.
Okay, thank
Come
you. Thanks, Evan.
And Evan, for the record, I don't care how old you get, you're a guy. We're kids. Okay?
All right, everybody kind of form a circle around Kara. Here we go.
Amazing.
Get a little bit closer, just a little bit. Okay.
Hi. Huz. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Drink. It's just grape juice. It's safe. Okay. I'll trade you.
I'm gonna make sure.
Okay. Take the cover off. Cover off. Be
No,
careful.
cover up.
Okay. Now, guys, I want you each to feel free to get some challah, but don't touch every piece.
Just the one you touch.
Okay.
Seriously.
So,
Gross.
let's turn it around and do it. Eloheinu melech haolam,
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Amen.
Anyone? It'll come back this way. Makes great French toast.
It really does. Do you want to mix the best?
Okay. So with that, let's move this way now. May this be a Shabbat Menucha, a day of rest, a Shabbat Mevorach, a day that continues us in blessing, Shabbat Simcha, a day of absolute celebration with family and with your friends, and may the joy that you know today with everybody help bring some sense of shlemut, as I said, into this world, so that it can be a Shabbat Shalom, a day of wholeness and peace. So Pam, thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. No, I can't have bread. Can't have any gluten. Yay.
Gluten-free?
What?
You have gluten intolerance?
Yeah.
My wife too. Okay, let's put some of the stuff in there.
My parents didn't